Welcome, everyone. We are the Uneducated Gamers Podcast, presented by GalaxyGameTV.com. And in today's episode, we will go over the Game Awards results, and we will give you our most uneducated thoughts. Joe, we got a lot to talk about, buddy.
Yeah, we do. I like how you put awards in air quotes. It's because it's a shit show. Get ready.
It's a wild, wild west show, man.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty fair.
Yeah,
it was a good year for games.
I actually let's first start with a couple of quick topics before we get into the actual awards list.
Ooh, yes, please.
And what I mean by the topics, I'm talking about the announcements and some of the key announcements that I sort of pointed out that I'm excited about. And I'm just going to jump right into it because this first one, The Matrix Awakens, Unreal Engine 5 demo.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I played that thing.
You're excited for this?
I played it like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
And Unreal 5 is it blows my mind on what they could do with this.
What system did you play it on?
Xbox Series X.
Okay. Yeah, I watched the entirety of that demo, and I was just like, okay, cool, I guess. Like, I understand it's a tech demo, and there is certainly some pretty things in there, but it was also very much like, get to the fucking point type of thing for me.
But so here's the thing, right? The whole opening sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
When Keanu Reeves is talking in the White Room?
Yeah, that was all animated with the Unreal.
Very clearly animated.
Animated with the Unreal Engine, right?
Yeah.
So then I get into playing the actual part of it, right? After
which is like
talking.
Which is tires for an hour. Shoot out their tires. They'll never get it.
No. But I think what intrigued me just for the gameplay piece of that was that I never felt like they took me out of the experience of being on a highway or being in that environment, and it didn't feel foreign. Like, it didn't have intermixing of bad textures and good textures. It was full on full texture that was just, I think, quite, not to add a pun to this, unreal, right? Like, it just seemed very
wow.
It seemed very fluid and very well done. Now, again, the gameplay part was very short or what have you, right?
Sure.
But once you got to walk around, so then you get to do this, your own walk around. You can go
you're in the city,
in the environment. And I put it to its test. Like, I went to go look at the different buildings, every single one of them. I spent probably about 30 minutes going through that whole environment. Mm-hmm. And then they give you like the back-end development tools to turn off textures and kind of see how things are put together.
Right. And change the lighting and all that stuff too.
Yeah. And I could, the environments that you can quickly modify in that way were seamless transitions that when you talk about games like Cyberpunk 2077 today that have extreme pop-in just when you're changing places, when I was changing things in that, and again, we're talking about, a demo, but
right. Very different.
But there's still that map that they have in that demo is huge. It's not a tiny freaking map. And they have so many assets in that map. Like, it's not they basically they tax it as much as they can. Mm-hmm. And I could not just the fidelity, but the reactiveness of all of the elements and everything else involved, and looking at how they constructed it and putting it together. I know Unreal Engine has been a staple for quite a few years, just from a basic code base perspective. But I think Unreal Engine 5 is going to take this generation, this new generation of gaming, and it's going to elevate anything that anybody is doing.
Well, it's kind of similar to when like just off the top of my head, when the Half-Life 2 engine came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there was just like that was such a gigantic leap, you know, compared to everything before that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because it's like, you know, there's a lot of things in this, you know, a lot of things that you described where it's just like, you know, no pop-ins and, you know, how many damn assets are in the actual screen at any given time, and moving fluidly. And you know, I was looking at it more from like, not thinking about it so much like that, but I was just looking at the graphics in general and just being like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, like, it's good. You know, it's not necessarily so far ahead of things that you see these days. You know, granted, you know, the scale that you're talking about, you know, is probably the distinguishing factor, but it was just kind of like, you know, I don't really care much about graphics in the first place, because I have never played a game for its graphics at all. It's literally never been any sort of, you know, like measuring stick of whether I'm going to pick up a game or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think though, one of the things that I think a lot of the AAA high fidelity games today, suffer from, right? And that's your primary assets are always going to be your sharpest, and your secondary assets are always going to be just secondary, right? And the way that I looked at this demo, this Unreal demo, is the way that everything is patterned and the way that it's put together. It deliberately allows whoever's making something with this engine provide the textures or the ability to run textures consistently. And so that you don't have that immersion break when it comes to those types of things.
Certainly.
A perfect example, right, is Cyberpunk, or let's just not actually first. Let's take
Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, Guild Wars 2. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your primary assets are always your sharpest. And so what we've been waiting for, I think, as when we talk about not just the fidelity of the graphics, so that's one construct of it. The whole piece of the pie, though, is when you're talking about immersion and immersion breaks. When you're in that car, yes, we're simply just shooting freaking tires. But when you're looking at it, there's no break in the immersion of the whole experience.
Yes, and that's a very scripted experience.
Agreed.
You know, a lot of this comes down to what the developer is not necessarily even capable of doing, but willing to do. You know,
fair enough.
Yeah,
but
in good hands, it's going to be great.
But it's all about the tools that you have.
Sure,
you can only be as good as the tool that you have. And if it's difficult to handle those type of graphics, to not be immersion breaking, then, and you have a tool that makes it easier to do that. So like the Unreal Engine 5 is also meant to help you have these individual assets and reconfigure rooms on the fly. So if you look at some of the large skyscrapers that are there, I went through like probably 20 or 30 rooms in one of the skyscrapers. You could tell that 80% of the assets were all duplicated. If you looked at it closely, but the rooms were all reconfigured. So I guess what I'm getting at here is they are introducing a much better procedural generation of multiple assets in a tall or wide scenario,
right?
That it's going to allow better and more rapid AAA style graphics games to be built in a much shorter time frame.
Sure. in the right hands.
Yes,
of course, absolutely.
Agreed.
It's a smart way of making stuff. I mean, because we do have these leaps and bounds as far as like graphics are concerned and processing power, but I mean, like, you're still limited. You're always going to be limited. So, you got to get smart at some point. And it sounds like that's what they're doing with this, but I would be far more interested to see something that's just not an advertisement for Matrix. To be honest with you, like, I mean, it's like, if you want to show me gameplay, show me something fun, and then, because I'll be honest with you, because I don't have an Xbox, or anything like that in order to play this off of. So I was just watching the demo, and granted, like, I'm not playing it, so it's a little different. I'm just watching somebody else be like, put the reticle on the tire. Cool. You don't even aim it, just press the fucking trigger button. That's it. I'm just like, all right.
There actually is an aiming component to it.
There is. Okay. It didn't look like it, because it just looked like it like targeted straight onto it. And it was just like, okay, this agent has leaped at you. And I'm just like, okay, canonically in the Matrix, you're not going to be able to just shoot the agent as it's going towards you. Like, he's not going to fucking let you shoot him. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's not fully on rails. It probably looks like that.
It totally does from an outside perspective.
Yeah, but it's not fully on rails. There were pieces of that it was on rails, but ultimately the whole experience was not a full on rails experience.
Okay. It's just something that you just do not pick up on.
Yeah,
watching a video of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Whatever.
But we'll see.
Go see The Matrix this holiday season.
Yeah. Well, and that was the whole thing, right? That was a dual.
Yeah, I know.
Dual thing.
It was actually kind of sad. Like, before Keanu Reeves jumps out of the car to fly away, he's like, "Did you kind of miss this?" And it was just like, Trinity was just like, "Yeah, I do." And it's just like, "Oh, I miss it too." I was like, "Damn, hit me where it hurts, Matrix."
Right. All right, so the next announcement is probably not a very glamorous announcement. Something, though, that I very much latched onto because I am very much a fan of this series, and that's the Alan Wake 2 announcement.
Cool. Alan Wake is that game that I bought 10 years ago, I think. It's in my Steam library. And I have 0 hours played.
Why? Why have you never played it?
I just never sat down and played it. I always heard it was a good game, and I picked it up for like $2 and then some Steam sale. And I'm like, I'm going to play this eventually. Never touched it.
I mean, now they have a remaster out for it.
I know. I heard about that. Okay. So, like, what is this? Is this like a ghost story game?
It is. I mean, it's basically, I would consider a thriller horror kind of thing, right?
Is it like Silent Hilly?
Yes, but your light is what the light is your weapon in the way, right? So these evil spirits, you ward them off with your light.
Naturally.
But it's actually, let me reclassify that. I think it's a thriller horror. And what I mean by that is
thriller horror
or suspense horror.
Okay.
Suspense horror. And why I say that is, the atmosphere, the sounds, like the sound of the game, the atmosphere really make the game very much engaging and enthralling. And I'll be honest with you too, like, games don't necessarily like give me the willies, so to speak.
You're playing the wrong games.
There has not been a game that sort of just gives me the willies, and Alan Wake is one of those games that just gives me the willies. It's like a jump scare game, right? Like it gives
You're making me want to play it less. I hate jump scares. I make Holly play the jump scare games, and I watch it with my own headset on with music, and I'm watching her play it. I'm like, damn, that looks scary. Bitch, you better move. Like,
but it's not
test of that.
But it's not like it's it's not like the Silent Hill like jump scare kind of things, or it's not like the
body falls down from the sky.
Yeah. It's not like that. It's more environmental. Your environment.
It's more of a chilling environment.
Yes.
Kind of like Alien Isolation, where you're just like, oh fuck, something's in here.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's also a game I couldn't get through, was Alien Isolation. Just tangent. Like that game was like, I really like that game. I thought it was really fucking cool. And then I get like a quarter of the way through it. And I'm just like, God damn, I'm so tired of trying to like follow this guy through event. I'm like, I'm just not going to do this anymore. Like, sorry.
I mean, no. I mean, I either way, Alan Wake is I'm pretty excited to see what it turns out. We only got obviously a cinematic trailer. But
cinematic.
So cinematic.
Feel it.
Oh man.
Yeah. No, I think I'll
just feel it.
Just right on the nips. Alan's just gently blowing cold air on your nipples.
I think you need to fire it up and give it at least a try. You might want to turn on your lights.
I'm not that much of a bitch. Like, I can handle it. I'm just not going to handle it very well. I'm going to turn the gamma way up. I'll tell you that right now.
But I would give the game at least a 1 hour play, and I would be curious. And let's do it this way. Okay. I'm going to challenge you by our January episodes to you have an hour into that game, and then we come back and talk about it.
Okay, if I do an hour into Alan Wake,
yep,
I want you to do a fucking hour in Dark Souls.
Done.
Okay.
Done. Let's do it.
All right. We'll compare notes.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's say let's do it this way. The second episode in January.
Okay.
That we do, let's do it.
Do I have to play the remastered or can I play the regular version?
No, play the regular version. Don't play the remaster.
Okay.
It's not all that different.
It's not remastered enough for you?
Well,
same ancient graphics in game. When you're looking at the price of top graphics masterpieces, Cyberpunk or Red Dead Redemption?
No, masterpieces.
Masterpieces? Did I waste my money?
No, it's just not worth it, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not worth the 1 hour play of doing the remaster.
Oh, maybe I'll play more than 1 hour. You don't know.
I know, maybe. Then get the remaster. Just get the remaster then.
All right, fine. Fuck it. Whatever. Okay, Star Wars Eclipse. Segue. Darkness of an eclipse.
All right,
Alan Wake needs to do things with a flashlight, and that leads us to Star Wars. A trailer that showed us nothing, yet people are excited for it because it says Star Wars and it has nothing to do with Luke Skywalker. Is that what noise are you making? Is that a speeder bike?
No, it's my lightsaber.
That sounded like a blaster. No. Was that a laser sword?
No. Blaster is like pew 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 pew.
Okay. That Wookiee's loose. That was a really good Wookiee. Holy shit. Can you do that again?
Trust not, you will.
That's not a Wookiee. I thought you were a fan of Star Wars.
I know that's not a Wookiee.
What an idiot. There you go. Thank you. I was more of a bantha, I'm going to be honest with you. All right. Okay. Star Wars Eclipse. So I take it you saw this trailer?
Yes.
You did because you linked it to me. And I was like, what is this? And then I watched all 3 minutes of it and I was just like, what is this? Okay.
All right.
Basically, it tells us nothing.
What's your thoughts?
Okay. So for anybody who hasn't seen this, it's set in the High Republic, which is before the Empire. We don't know what time frame this is, right?
It's pre-Empire.
Right. All we know is Yoda's still alive and the Jedi Council room still looks the same. So we're talking anywhere from 50,000 years to current.
Yeah, so it's a new storyline that I don't know if I don't believe it's ever been published, but I've heard a lot of things on the like Star Wars forums, or not heard, read a lot of things on the Star Wars forums about George Lucas created this pre-Empire world. But I don't think anything has ever been published about it, meaning officially, so to speak.
Are you sure it was Lucas himself that did it?
Yeah. So Lucas in conjunction with some other writers. I don't remember the actual story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is meant to cover the pre-Empire era of the High Republic before the big event. And the big event is basically, what they're saying was the design of the inception of the Empire.
So are we talking like pre-Sidious? Because I think the Empire was was thought of before him, and he just kind of brought it to fruition.
Exactly.
Are we talking Plagueis or pre-Plagueis?
It hasn't. It wasn't defined whether it was pre or post. But
okay, but hold on.
All right.
Wait, because there's a part in the trailer where this dude comes out of like this black tar.
Yes,
and that could be Plagueis. Because he was all like,
could be.
He learned how to. I can't remember what Palpatine said to Skywalker in that goddamn opera scene, where he's just like, "Have I ever told you the story of Plagueis the Wise?" Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. And my feeling is this is pre that, and I agree with you. I think the end of that trailer is basically what we would end up seeing either halfway through or mid through or later in the game. Maybe
it's probably gonna be like Final Fantasy boss type where it's just like, oh, that's the bad guy,
right?
Yeah.
And so I think this is going to be, and this kind of covers it, and we talked or no, not we talked about it, but I read some things about what this game is meant to represent and some of the speculations around it. And I feel like they're probably right based on the trailer. And that's the eclipse that happens is what calls all of the Jedi Council together again. And that's what basically alerts and puts this whole
story
in motion, right? And that then becomes the inception of where the Empire. I think the end of this game is when the start of the Empire, but I don't know. We'll see. And it depends on how they decide to run this story.
Yeah,
but I think it's very palpable to to audiences to start with the eclipse on with the High Republic, as it's been sort of the lore has taken it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
About Star Wars lore, because we're both, Star Wars nerds to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
Palpatine is your crutch. I know.
Did you say it's my crutch or my crush?
Your crutch.
Because one of those is right.
He's your crutch.
My crutch? What? Nah, he's fucking J.J. Abrams' crutch. In the Star Wars universe,
yep,
when you have an entire galaxy that is as intertwined as the Star Wars galaxy is, millions of planets. I mean, you saw the Galactic Senate. Who gives a fuck about an eclipse?
Well,
like, who gives a fuck about one eclipse on one planet for 5 minutes? Like, it doesn't even, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Well, it depends on how the story's written. We'll see.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, as far from a storytelling perspective, who cares about an eclipse?
Well, it's
as the planets with like 27 moons, like it's pretty common. Like, this is the one. This is the only time.
Oh man. Oh, I love
All
you,
right.
man.
Well,
I
anyway.
love you, man.
Me too.
No, but look, so
Just saying.
I know you're coming at this from a fire in your belly because we have a lot of problems with the Star Wars IP these days.
Where to fucking begin?
But the company that is making this is developed by Quantic Dream. And what I can say about Quantic Dream is they so far have a very good pedigree.
What have they done? I don't know developers very well.
So their claim to fame, and I think their best work is Detroit Become Human.
I've heard favorable things about that game.
That game, I was very skeptical about Detroit Become Human. In fact, I waited a good year before playing that game because I really was curious because they have a particular way how they do story arcs. It's very it's meant to be branching, and the actions that you take in a particular branch can change how the rest of the game progresses. And so, in other words, if you screw something up in one way in a particular scenario with one of the branches, you may not get to one of the other branches in the storyline.
Sure, it's just like you have 3 endings and you just are ineligible for ending 1 now.
Exactly. And it's a very interesting game, and it's a very rewarding game, to be very honest with you. I was very leery about it, but after playing it, I am very excited for the prospect of Star Wars Eclipse. I can actually, I don't want to say it this way, but I'm just going to say it this way because it's the only way I can like correlate this. But I think of KOTOR.
Okay.
And Detroit Become Human.
Sure.
And I immediately think that this could be probably the best Star Wars games we'll ever see in our lifetime.
Well, I would urge you to please not get your hopes up, because while they are certainly have been moving in the right-ish direction as of late, there's still plenty of room to fuck that up, or for this game to just get completely canceled, because that happens.
But this is also not controlled by EA, right?
That doesn't necessarily matter.
So
you know that.
True.
When the mouse is involved, the mouse is, no, you're going to do what I say. And God help you if you get in the way. But
okay, but here's the other thing, right? Like here, it's not just Detroit Become Human, right? There's have you ever heard a game called Heavy Rain?
I have. I don't know much about that one, to be honest with you. I've heard it a couple times.
Probably one of the best interactive drama games. This is what I think, like, Telltale Games did a really good job of mimicking what Heavy Rain did.
Okay.
And Heavy Rain, like, coming out in 2010 was a revolutionary game. Like, there was nothing out there like that. And Quantic Dream is responsible for that game.
Okay.
The next game that it had mixed reviews, and it wasn't a PlayStation exclusive, and then came out on Windows later, and that's Beyond Two Souls. So,
oh yeah.
So basically, like, Quantic Dream this is their wheelhouse. This is what they do. This is their life's work for the 24 years that they've been a studio.
Sure. And that's certainly a different direction for a lot of Star Wars games too.
Yeah.
Like maybe KOTOR, because if we're thinking like interactive drama, the same way, it's just kind of like, it's just fancy way of saying RPG. A more linear type of RPG. Then I think I know what you're talking about here. I want to see a story that's just not what we've seen in Star Wars like 100 fucking times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I care about. It was just like, Fallen Order was cool, but it's just teetering around the same story. All the Battlefront games, that they're all around the same story. All the movies are all around the same fucking story. It's just, please just do something different,
And that's why I think, for me anyways, pre-Empire is exciting, because it's a totally different era of the Star Wars timeline. And I think if anybody could do something like this, I actually believe, just like I believed in Vicarious Visions to do Diablo 2 remaster or Resurrected.
This is a big endorsement.
I actually have the utmost confidence that Quantic Dream can deliver on something truly different that we have not seen, both from a Star Wars story perspective and a game that has a branching storyline that is truly a non-linear story.
Okay. All right. Well, when it comes out, I'll try it. I'm a little bit more action oriented. I'm not going to lie.
You damn straight you'll try it.
Oh, okay.
Because we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. I'll do it.
I mean, if I have to buy it for you, I don't care. You're going to try it.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. No, I'll try it. I'm just kind of, in all honesty, just kind of burnt out on Star Wars, because it's just, it feels like a losing battle, most of the time. And it's just,
well, they lose against the Empire all the time. So, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, for stupid fucking reasons. It's just a muddy mess. And it's just a real shame that they eliminated the established canon when Disney took over.
Yep. Fair enough.
Not all of it was great, but it was an expanded universe in a meaningful way.
Right.
So anyway, whatever.
Let's move on to the Game Awards.
Game Awards.
I didn't watch it live or whatever, streamed or whatever, but
who watches award ceremonies?
Yeah, right.
Right.
But I did catch up on it afterwards, and I'll be honest, there's quite a few games in here that I never heard of, I'll be honest, but I tried them in preparation for this podcast, and
all of them?
Some of them. And I honestly, I'm impressed with the games I'd never even heard of. So let's go ahead and get right into it, because I think what we're going to do is we're not going to go through every single award, but we cherry picked some of the major ones and ones that we would have some sort of, thoughts around. Right?
So things that we could talk semi-intelligently about.
Things that make,
after all, what podcasts are you listening to?
Exactly. I mean, it's all about figuring out the things that make you go, things that make you go, Okay.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. Go.
All right. So the first category that we're going to cover, and we're going to lead all the way up to the Game of the Year, is Best Multiplayer Game for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences,
irrespective of game genre or platform.
Thank you.
I got you, man.
So I'm going to go down the list, and then I'll say the winner. I think most people are going to know the winner. But so
sure.
The nominees were Back 4 Blood, It Takes Two, Knockout City, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim.
One of these doesn't belong on the list.
Right?
Can you guess which one?
It's a whole new world.
Don't you dare close your eyes. But dude, seriously, do close your eyes on that one because it's a shit show, folks. It's a real shit show.
It's a doozy. So the winner is It Takes Two, and there's going to be a theme here with this game as we go down this list.
It wins a lot.
It wins a lot.
It wins a lot.
For good reason. So, and I'll be very honest, up to the wire of recording this episode, me and my wife spent a good 30 minutes playing It Takes Two.
Did you like it?
And it's actually quite interesting. Like, yeah. It's so It Takes Two is also, they create a game called A Way Out, or is it A Way Out? Is that what it is?
A Way Home?
No. Let's see. Are
you talking like in the game or another game?
No, another game. So me and my wife played the other game that they created, which was very similar to this. And I think it was called A Way Out. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's called A Way Out. And it's about two people in prison trying to work together to get out of prison.
Okay.
And so it's made by the same developers as that game, A Way Out. And it's done very similar to the same way, but it's around it's around a couple who's, deciding that they're going to get divorced. And
sad.
And the child of the divorcees has these two kind of like puppets that are modeled after the wife and the husband. And, she gets upset after they told her that, they're getting divorced. She goes and hides and cries, and these two puppets come alive. And that's who you play as, the two characters, the husband and the wife, as these puppets. And you have to work together. You're forced to work together all the way through the game. And the game is sort of like you're shepherded by this book,
right?
Yeah. And it's actually really, it's quirky, but it's interesting. And I think in the landscape of COVID and being home and what have you, I actually think the game has a really good message, right? Because as far as like married couples, they always say the best thing for your marriage is distance and not always being, on top of each other from a perspective, and not on top of each other from probably what your brain is thinking.
Well, you could have said that better.
But ultimately, the game takes you through this experience, and basically it's telling the story of you need to do better and you need to work together better. And it's all about teamwork and not being always, me or I need to do this or I need to do that.
Yeah. Share the load.
Yeah. And the game just really puts out a positive message. And I could see why it got the best multiplayer game, because I've played Back 4 Blood. It's okay.
It's just Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Knockout City, I think, is fine. It's a whatever.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it, to be honest with you. I know Monster Hunter, and it's just not my type of game personally, so I can never get into Monster Hunter whatsoever.
So I like Monster Hunter, but Monster Hunter Rise is a much different experience, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just not my shit,
Yeah.
New
World, well, let's just not touch that one.
Well, I put a lot of hours into that one. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Good core game, terrible execution. Check it out in 2 years. That game is still in fucking alpha.
Why is that? Like, what are some? Give me 2 key points on why.
There are multiple exploits that are uncovered seemingly every day that have to do with like duping items or gold or trophies, just keys, shit, everything. And it's just like, and Amazon will come out and they'll say like, okay, we've patched this literally 20 minutes later after the servers come up, and there's a new exploit. And there's a new exploit. And the thing is they punish the players for it. So in this game, it's very, they very much tried to make it like real life because, oh man, this is gonna be a long rant. Where they're just like, okay, you have to fight for a town, and then you have to own that town. And then within that town, every crafting station or thing that you sell in the trading post goes towards taxes in that town that goes to the guild that owns that town. And that guild needs to decide how to allocate those taxes to increase either, crafting stations or, other things. And you can buy properties in that town, and you have to pay taxes on that house in that town specifically every fucking week. Okay, whatever.
Wait,
here's the problem.
Do you see this face? Have you seen my face during the whole description?
Yeah, it's like the government fucking sucks. But like, here's the problem. So every single time these dupes will come out, and Amazon would be like, shit, we gotta do something about this because this is literally breaking our game. They would pause trading posts and all gold interactions. So now the house that you paid 10,000 gold for, which I never bought a house because I don't give a fucking shit about it. And I didn't want to get stuck in the taxes because I'm just like, I have a tent. You literally cannot pay your taxes on it. So you can't do anything with your house. The guild that owns the town cannot pay the taxes on the crafting stations. So the crafting stations literally go from like tier 5 to tier 2, and you can't craft anything, certain things past like certain crafting stations. And it's just like, they literally crippled the whole economy of the game by pausing all interactions. They've done it multiple times, and still the game still fucking sucks.
Okay. So that was 1. What about 2?
Okay. So they actively took away progress from players when so there's a watermark system in the game where, if you're familiar with MMOs, there's all gear that you have has a certain gear score to it, which tells you it's like, okay, is this uncommon, is this rare, is this epic, is this unique, stuff like that, legendary. And the more rare the armor is, the higher the gear score, which means the higher the gear, the more damage you do, more healing you do, whatever, you can do more in-game content easily. Okay, cool. They have their own system called a watermark. And that watermark system is basically, it's a little convoluted, but simple at the same time, where you literally need to go loot chests, and you need to get lucky enough for the gear that you want, like 600 gear score, which is the highest you can get, to drop. And once that gear drops for you, you can get it through anything after that. So your watermark has been raised, and now you're essentially like in a higher tier of possible drops. And somebody could take me to task on that. I never really fucked with the watermark system too much because I kind of lost interest in the game a little too early to really get too deep into that. And it's a little bit too convoluted. So anyway, what happened was the game is built around crafting, and crafting is actually kind of fun. Gathering and crafting, it's just like, oh, okay, fun. It's kind of relaxing, to be honest with you. And it's a big draw. So people didn't want to do boring ass chest runs in order to get like nothing and then finally get something like 3 weeks later. Mm-hmm. So they would craft the gear at 600 gear score and be like, hey, I did it an alternate way, which is totally reasonable. And that's what Amazon said they wanted people to do. It's just like, you can play the game how you want to play the game. False. They came back a couple of weeks ago for their last end of the year PTR, where they're just saying like, hey, if you crafted gear, we're taking your watermark down to 500. But if you went for the gear in their chests, your watermark will still be the same because you already earned that gear. And they're doing like an expertise system where it says like, okay, each day you can only, we're going to time gate you, and you can like slowly gain that watermark consistently, but it's slow, but we're taking away progress from you. I think they may have reverted that. I kind of actually stopped paying attention to the game, but there was a real big fuss about it as soon as they launched that. So it's just like, so two cardinal sins is they hurt their own economy because they couldn't get their backend code working the right way, and they actively took progress away from people. So there you go. There's more than that, but there you go. As concise as I can make it.
Okay, so you also said to come back in 1 or 2 years or something, you said, right?
Yes.
Why?
There is a solid base to that game. There is good in that game. It's kind of like Luke Skywalker seeing good in his father. It's like, I know there's good in you. But like there truly is a solid base to that game. Like they have a lot to figure out, and the game was not in development long enough. Like it is still baking. Like if you were to stick a toothpick into that sponge bread, that would just pull out fully wet. So it's just, it has the potential. Will it make it there? I don't know, because it's kind of a free, it's not a pay to play. It's not a monthly subscription model. So, they rely kind of like Guild Wars 2, where it's just like pay for the game once, and then we're going to put like these awesome cosmetics on the store. And if you want to pay for it, you can, and that's how we're going to make our revenue off of it. And plus expansions or whatever. I'm assuming they'll do expansions or whatever. But, what's the point at this? Like they're not really making much money off it, because who's buying stuff off the gem store? Because you can't really play the game. And frankly, a lot of their stuff is, me personally, kind of ugly. I wouldn't pay money for it. So I don't know, man. I could see Amazon pulling the plug on it, but we'll just have to see, in all honesty. So, but there is a good base game there. It's just very hard to see at this point. Anyway, New World.
I think I hope, and I did have some high hopes for that game. I really was hoping to play that game, but obviously the release of it, I sort of was like, you know what, I'll just wait.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and as far as releases go, it was a solid release. It was a good launch. It just isn't ready at all.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things that I sort of picked up on this, the best multiplayer game is Valheim, which is really currently just an early access game.
Well, a lot of games on Steam are early access until they're miraculously not. But
how would I don't understand. The game is not officially released yet.
No, but it is.
But it's not.
But it is.
But it's not.
Oh, you're still making money off. Like you're still selling the game for money. Like early access is like, that's being like, I'm a virgin. It's just like, okay, prove it. Well, I can't. It's like, what I mean?
It's a very slippery slope.
Yeah, it's just like, who cares? They don't care. All everybody knows about that is like they had a good time playing it.
Yeah, but I think overall best multiplayer game in this category with the nominees that they have here, It Takes Two certainly is probably not probably. It is
the definitive.
It is the best one here. And I actually would encourage you and your wife to pick that game up and check it out and play it. I think
we plan on it. Yeah.
Okay. It's
for sure.
It's I mean, being on Game Pass and downloading it was really I really enjoyed it so far. Right.
Yeah, I mean it honestly looks amazing. And it flew completely under my radar and I had no idea it was even a thing. So,
yeah, same here. All right. So next category, why don't you go ahead and
best family game. For the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of game genre or platform. First off, It Takes Two. Do you see a theme here? Mario Party Superstars. New Pokemon Snap. Why do I have to put new in front of it?
I don't know.
I'll just name it like Pokemon Snap 2 or something.
I don't know.
I think Nintendo even thinking.
So silly.
Yeah. Okay. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, WarioWare Get It Together. I'm actually kind of surprised WarioWare wasn't the winner, but I also haven't played It Takes Two yet, so I don't know shit about fuck.
So I'm actually kind of surprised that Super Mario 3D World and Bowser Fury didn't win here.
Why?
I
Super Mario World.
No, it's different. It is actually quite different. In the Bowser. So let me rephrase that. The Bowser Fury side of the game, and maybe this is where I also have a confusion on how they sort of structure the games that get quote unquote
like chosen
for this, because
yeah,
like Super Mario 3D World is really a remaster. It's not or a remake. It's a port.
It's just a port, yeah. Because that was from the Wii U, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a Wii U. Yeah. And so like Bowser's Fury though is actually a really fun addition, and Bowser Fury was not part of the Wii U release.
Right.
And I actually consider Bowser's Fury the most fun part and the family like perspective game. Now, I think Mario is always going to be a part of a family category.
Sure.
But then Mario Party Superstars, which I actually find pretty fun as well. But that's just because I have kids.
That's a little different.
It's a little different.
Hits a little different when you got little kids.
Yeah. But I still think, again, It Takes Two certainly takes the second award here in a row.
So different.
Yeah.
You know, like all the games that you've seen, like all these other games, which they're all Nintendo games. You've all played these games before. You know, there's no there's some derivation from the formula within those games, but it's still the same game you play. But like It Takes Two is something that's just a dark horse. You know, it's like, of course it's gonna win.
Yeah.
Anyway, It Takes Two win.
It take two in. It
takes 2 awards
for now.
Yeah. You wait.
So the best fighting game, right? I don't even have to make the description for this one because, well, the title says it all. The best fighting game.
Best fighting game.
Yeah. So Demon Slayer, and I'm going to basically not say the rest of this.
Oh, come on, try it.
Okay.
Try it.
Kimetsu no Yaba the
Hinokami Chronicles. You got to say it like they're announcing it though.
Kimetsu no Yaba the Hinokami Chronicles.
There you go. I felt like I was in the game.
Yeah.
EA.
JB. It's in
the game. It's not. I would never use that as a slogan.
Okay, so Demon Slayer, Guilty Gear Strife. I actually have to come back to this because I didn't know this game existed until this list, and then I tried
any of these games.
and then I tried it. Melty Blood.
Sounds hilarious.
Which is a really weird game.
Okay.
Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, which I think is a rehash of another game. Mm-hmm. And then Virtual Fire 5 Ultimate Showdown, which I actually didn't realize that series was still being made.
Yeah, I thought they stopped after I stopped going to arcades.
Yes. Like Virtual Fighter 3 was the last one that I kind of knew of.
Yeah, fighting games aren't my thing because I get very frustrated with fighting games.
Well, I mean, they have been my thing for quite a long time, but I didn't realize Virtual Fighter was still around, and that was like, wait, what? That's interesting. So Guilty Gear Strife was the winner for this, and this game is interesting to me. I also think it's really interesting that it won. And here's the reason why.
Okay.
This game is certainly meant to be a love letter to devoted fans of the Guilty Gear series. And what I mean by that is if you play the game, there's a lot of things that are going on in the game that if you don't know the lore of some of these characters, you will not understand what the hell's going on.
That sounds like a lot of anime.
So, like, really, the sort of the thing out there is if you're going to play this game, you're going to want to go watch 1, 3, or maybe more videos to understand some of the characters that are in the story, to really have a feeling that you're going to, play this game in a way that you're going to understand what's going on. But
do you play fighting games for understanding the story or the mastery of destroying your opponent?
So it really depends. So the way that Guilty Gear has historically been built is it's an anime in a fighting game world.
Okay.
So the game is story driven.
Okay.
So you're playing in an anime. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Okay. So paint me a word picture real quick.
Okay.
So hold on. Let me compare it. So are we talking like Mortal Kombat 2, where it's just like you're going up a tower and it's just like, here's your next opponent? Or are we talking like a game that I don't even know because I don't play fighting games where, no. Okay. Smash Brothers, when you're doing kind of like the Space Emissary.
Nope.
Okay. Go for it then.
So have you ever watched an anime?
Yeah. I'm very excited for Attack on Titan.
Okay. So imagine watching that.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, somebody hands you a controller and say, "Hey, this is going to be a fight scene in this anime show. You go play that fight scene."
That's kind of cool. I kind of like that idea, as long as the anime is cool.
That's Guilty Gear.
No shit. I always thought it was just like straight up like any other fighting game where it's just like, okay, here you go, opponent, go.
Oh, the original, like way back in the early days, yes. Mm-hmm. But they evolved Guilty Gear to be more story driven.
Okay, well that's interesting. That's cool. Maybe I will check that out then. No, I won't. I get frustrated at fighting games. I just don't. It piss me off.
No, but so here's the thing about Guilty Gear Strife of what they did with the formula of the game, right? They made it easier to combo, they made it easier to play, and they made it more forgiving on how you fight within the game. So there's actually a few videos out there that I found that do this well to explain it. Basically, previous Guilty Gear games are very much like some of the original Marvel versus Capcom games where you had to hit a certain combination in order to really provide, to get to do maximum damage with your combos.
Sure.
The Guilty Gear Strive, like what they've done with that game was they improved your combo patterns to be more user friendly and be less pro-centric when it comes to fighting games, if you understand what I'm saying.
So yeah, I do. So it's just easier for casuals, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is not a game you're going to see at fighting tournaments.
And they have my understanding, there's a setting to put into pro mode, but
okay. Well, then that's fine. That's different.
The primary function of the game as it's been released is to be more a user-centric game instead of pro-centric game.
Right. Man, how do people play with those fucking arcade joysticks? Whenever you go watch one of the fighting competitions, they all have those. And I'm just like, how the fuck does anybody play with that shit?
I used to do that shit, man.
It looks, like, okay, like no shade on that stuff. Cause like it actually looks cool as shit, and you got your own fucking, controller and you like skin that thing however the fuck way you want to. And you get the buttons working the way you want to. But at the same time too, I'm just kind of like, just play with the controller. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's probably something part of that culture that I just don't get. But you know,
Yeah.
anyway, whatever.
But some of the other ones on here that I thought were interesting, and I know you had some comments to talk about when it came to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl.
Oh yeah, it's weird. The end. That's a weird one. It's like I don't know. It's like all of a sudden everybody's trying to do the Smash formula
Yep.
all at once, and it's just not working the right way. You know, it's just very strange to see these things, and like you see like so I know it's not the Nickelodeon one. There was what was the other one that came out? But like literally like Gandalf was a fighter.
Gandalf?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, like Gandalf the Grey. Like, or
really?
maybe Reddit destroyed my brain. I don't remember. But I've been just seeing a lot of these lately, and I started looking at the All-Star Brawl for Nickelodeon, and I was just like, Avatar? What? You know, and it's just like, oh, also, the last time we talked, I watched the entirety of the Avatar series for the first time, twice, and The Legend of Korra. How did I miss these things? It's amazing. I love that series. It's a national treasure. I can't believe how good it was. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. So I think though, I hear you. It's a really weird one. And it looks interesting, but at the same time,
it feels like a cash grab.
It kind of just feels like, so here's the way that I see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a Smash Brothers like brawler, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's done better than the PlayStation like All Stars. That's
the one I was thinking of.
That came out a long time ago with like like the God of War characters and stuff like that.
That wasn't that long ago, I don't think.
Oh, it was a while ago. You'll be surprised when that came out.
Will I? Okay, maybe.
And then but I feel
I'm surprised.
I feel like the Nickelodeon game, like the character models just are really bad.
I saw I watched a couple fights, and I watched Aang fight from Avatar, because I was just like, Avatar, fuck yeah. You know, I don't resonate with real monsters, because you know, I'm just like, I didn't as a child, fun fact, did not have cable TV. Never got to see Nickelodeon, never got to see Comedy Central, none of that shit. So until I went away to college. So that's how I missed Avatar in the first place. But so I have like no real connection to like basically any of these characters in the first place, which is one of the reasons why I look at this thing and I'm just like, I don't know. But I did watch, you know, like I said, an Aang fight, and I was just kind of like, it feels kind of weird. You know, it's kind of like lacking a little bit of that like fluidity that Smash Brothers has, that, you know, that kind of just like, you know, Smash Brothers has, you know, had its peaks and valleys, of course, you know, throughout all of its iterations. But throughout the whole thing, though, it was all very fluid. Yeah. You know, and it's just, I don't know. Things are just a little bit off, and that doesn't mean it can't change. Yeah. You're adding DLC or adding new characters doesn't mean you can't fix other things. You know, and I worry about the Ninja Turtles too, you know, because like you really got to make the Ninja Turtles differentiate against each other. Yeah. You really do. You do. You know, and because they didn't. Okay. Because then you're just playing like 4 Pikachus against each other in Smash Brothers. And it's just like, cool, you know? Yeah. So I don't know. There's probably room for improvement there, but yeah, it's good to see other, you know, IPs doing stuff like that though, because, you know, the magic of Smash Brothers is that you get to see all these ridiculous characters together that do not belong together at all, you know? Yeah, I think they need to execute like Smash Brothers does. And if they can't reach that level of Smash Brothers gameplay, look and feel, then just don't release it. That's why maybe don't get out of bed. Well, that's why PlayStation All-Star, like, put the time into it to either do better with the Smash Brothers formula or meet it. Yeah.
And I don't think the Nickelodeon All Stars doesn't do that, and neither did the PlayStation All Stars, and that's why I think Nickelodeon's gonna die just as quickly as the PlayStation All Stars game did.
It might, but
Kids,
I don't know. There's a lot of nostalgia that's wrapped up in that for a lot of people.
That's fair.
So I think the hardest part that they're going to have, the hardest obstacle that this game will have to get through to people is letting people know that it exists in the first place.
Fair enough.
It is interesting, and it is, and from what I've seen, it is a half decent fighter,
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's room for it. There truly is. So,
all right. Best RPG, go.
Oh, this is my category. I'm just joking. Best RPG, the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences.
What? Come on. The first one on this list, go.
Yes, sir. Cyberpunk 2077.
Come on. Wait. What did you just say?
They did say character customization, and that is the only game where I can have a huge donger as a female.
Say that game again.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, geez. All right, go on.
They did do some unique stuff with character customization.
Stop.
What? They did, though.
Go on.
Okay. Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Tales of Arise, which was the winner. No, I'm saying Tales of Arise is the winner, not like which one of these was the winner.
Right. Yeah.
What? They won.
What? Okay. So Cyberpunk 2077. I have an issue.
We're not done with this yet.
Cyberpunk. Yeah, I know, right? Like it always comes back. First off,
let me fucking tell you about Cyberpunk.
The category doesn't make any damn sense for this game. First and foremost,
they literally say character customization. That's the main part.
Okay, so you know what? I'm just gonna go create a character customization app, and I will be rated for the best RPG of the fucking world. What?
As long as it releases on a PlayStation 4 or 5.
This game is not even an RPG.
It is when you have 100 mods in it and somebody takes the time to actually build the game the right way.
This game is an action shooter, as is today, if you buy it off the shelf. Plain and simple. This game is not a freaking RPG. It has no business being in this category.
What? Does it?
No.
Because it has RPG elements.
No.
You get to choose a story. You get to choose who you want to be. You get to choose 3 branches to go down, and then the game auto plays for you. It's like System Shock 2.
No.
That was an RPG.
No. That's nothing like that game.
Okay. I think System Shock 2 is better.
I would agree.
I want everybody to be clear. I think that's a better game. All right, whatever. Do you know anything about Tales of Arise? Because I do not know anything about that series at all.
I do. But real quick, before we go to the winner, I think we touched on Monster Hunter Rise earlier. It's an okay game.
It's fine. It's Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Scarlet Nexus, I was disappointed with.
Which one? I don't know what that one is.
So it was Scarlet Nexus was, I believe it was a PlayStation exclusive. I don't think
RPGs are, I think.
Let me see here. I think this is, if I'm thinking of the right one. Oh no, it came out on Xbox. Oh, it's on Game Pass.
Download now.
So this is an ARPG. I don't know. Like it just when they first talked about the game, and I know this game gets a lot of great scores. Like everywhere, everybody loves this game. But it just seems like it's the same formula over, the everything else that we've seen when it comes to an ARPG.
Okay.
And that's why I just feel like it's kind of just weird. that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have anything to really add to this one because I kind of avoid RPG games. Okay, I don't avoid RPG games. I avoid not MMORPGs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah, it's like you tried to get me into Octopath Traveler for a while, and I was just like, yeah, cool. I'm not gonna. I don't. It's not my thing. You know.
So okay, here. Let me. I know we've talked about this game before, and that's near Autonoma, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think Scarlet Nexus is very much similar to that formula. It's not.
Okay.
It's no different than what we've seen before, and so that's why I wasn't really excited about it because it's just like it's very much the same thing that we've seen over and over again. That's why, like near Autonoma, like I just got bored with it because, again, it's just replicating the same formula that we've seen over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like movies, you know. There's really only like what is it, like seven actual unique stories.
Yeah,
and it's just all repackaging everything. I mean, yeah, gaming's kind of the same way. Spoiler alert.
fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's just every once in a while something truly unique comes by, but the older you get, you see the patterns, and you're just like, okay, I get it. Like Takes Two, that is something that is different.
Yeah,
like something that is truly different.
Or you get something like Tales of Rise that really just reinvents the formula that has been the same formula for 17 years or so, 20 something years actually, but whatever.
Yeah, well, this is the many entries into the series.
Yeah, so like Tales of Arise, sliding into that one, I think so. If anybody is a fan of the Tales series like I am, I'll be honest, this game is by far the best Tales game in quite some time. And I would say like Tales of Exilia, I know a lot of people are not a huge fan of that game. But I mean, that's 10 years ago that game came out.
Yeah, give it another chance, guys.
Yeah. But that game was really good. But really, if you have to go back, the last like blockbuster Tales game was Tales of Vespera, right? And that game was revolutionary. So Tales of Arise really kind of took their formula and they cranked it up another 10 volumes. So like if 10 is at the end of that volume knob, they like said, screw that. We're going to take a Sharpie. We're going to add 3 numbers to that and crank it up to that number.
Kind of like how Trump moved a hurricane into past Florida.
And just to prove to you, here is my collector's edition Tales of Exilia 2 guide for the game. Like I love this series. Like this is a great series. Like
I had no idea.
It's very Final Fantasy-esque, but
it's got 17 entries. Of course it is.
But it's a different game than Final Fantasy in the way that it plays like it has light ARPG elements to it that really make it a differentiator in the market for that type of game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'll say about it.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
It's well deserved. I guess what I'm saying is I've bought it, I've played it, and
have you beaten it?
No, not yet. It's a really long game.
Yeah, it's probably like what, at least 20 hours,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to me, I will play it multiple times.
Eventually.
Yes, eventually.
Eventually. I'll get to it. God damn it.
All right, so let's get to this, and I'm gonna let this one simmer and let you kind of go off on this one because I think there's a lot of discussion in this category, and that's best action adventure game.
Oh God, we have so many categories left. Holy shit.
So, best action adventure game, for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. So, nominees are Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, which I don't know about that, Psychonauts 2.
Which one do you think won?
Metroid Dread is the winner.
That was the best mouth air horn I've ever done.
Yeah, that's the best sounding one I've
That
heard.
was pretty good, right? He sounded like we were at a basketball game.
No, not that good, but it was good.
Wow. Okay. Anyway, Metroid Dread, we loved it.
You loved it.
You didn't like it?
You go first.
Wait, you didn't like it?
So
you didn't like it?
How? I have mixed feelings.
Bitch, how?
I have mixed feelings.
Okay.
But you go first. I'm curious. I mean, I've talked a lot about Tales. I'm curious to hear your perspective on Metroid Dread.
Well, I like Metroid a lot.
And I do too. I just completed Metroid 1 and Metroid 2.
Which version of 2?
The
Game Boy?
No, Super Nintendo.
What?
Or
Metroid 2 wasn't on Super Nintendo. Call yourself a fan. This is bullshit.
No, what's the color version? Oh, was that GBA?
Game Boy Advance. What?
No.
What are you talking about?
Samus.
Are you talking Return to Samus?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was regular Game Boy.
No,
and
but
then they did a remake on the 3DS.
Oh, 3DS. That's it.
You mixed up the Game Boy for the 3DS.
Dude,
God damn it, Chris.
I played it in VM, so I don't. But anyways, go on.
Anyway, I was a bit apprehensive about this game myself, to be honest with you, because it kind of came out of nowhere, and I was been very hyped for Metroid Prime 4, and I was very angry at Nintendo for not giving us any sort of fucking context for it whatsoever. Besides, we're going to restart development, which okay, whatever, that's fine. I'd rather have a good game than a shitty game. But they showed this at God, what was it, E3? Did they show this one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And they showed like the demo, they announced it and everything. And I was watching the demo and I was just like, I don't know about this. The way Nintendo presented it with their treehouse, and they're just kind of like having people play it, and they're like doing like the fake reacting where they're like, oh God, this is scary. Did you see that thing move in the background? I don't know if I can hit that spot with my missiles. It's just like, okay, just play the game. We don't need the script. It's fine. I can pick up a decent amount of what's going on without you really making this annoying. So anyway, after watching that, I was just like, okay, yeah, it looks like Metroid. It's okay, I guess. I picked it up day one, of course. Holy fuck. I was not expecting how smooth the controls felt in that game. I was not expecting how much like Metroid, like Super Metroid it felt like, and how you can break the game with sequence breaking, which is amazing. And that was one of the best fucking parts about Super Metroid, because it's a skill-based game through and through. The only thing that I was really taken back by it was I just didn't enjoy the load screens, because it felt like half the game was spent in a load screen, which kind of really killed the mood for me a couple times. But man, the boss fights were fucking good. They were just punishing enough where you're just like, okay, I got to learn this like 2 or 3 times and I got it, and then it was just that last boss fight was amazing. Did not like the Metroid suit at the end, but it was a good ending, and it was through and through actually a pretty damn good story, which I was not expecting to, because after Other M, which Chris, how do I feel about Other M?
Well, I think we covered that already, though.
Yeah, all right. So that was a shit story for shit people. And yeah, they just completely I mean, they completely did a 180 on this. Like it's just it was a threshold of quality that I didn't think that they would ever walk through, and I was just surprised through and through. In all honesty,
Yeah,
but you didn't like it.
So it was definitely a better execution on what other M was trying to do.
Don't compare it to other M.
No, but all I'm saying is you're right, because you brought up other M, right, in this
Right.
conversation,
because there are characters in other M that are also in this one.
Yeah, and so I think the execution of it was way better, right? It was it was extremely, it was what we should have had with other M, I guess is what I'm getting at. So no, I really like the game, but going back to some of your points, the load screens really took me out of the game.
Yes.
And I kind of disliked that part of it.
Yeah.
And so
that's acceptable.
Here's the thing, and this is why I also went back to play Metroid 1, because I was trying to remember what was it about the original formula that I enjoyed. And what I enjoyed about it was constant action and gameplay. You had no break in the immersion, you had no break in what you were doing, and you had the sense of urgency and moments to where you were like, you had like stressful moments.
Mm-hmm.
But those stressful moments didn't present themselves in a visual way. They presented themselves in a way that was tactical on how they approached things and how you would sequence your combat. So in other words, if you would go too far ahead at some point, when it came to fighting Mother Brain, if you didn't have the freeze ray, you were going to really have a tough time.
Sure, but it's not necessary.
It
is. No, it is, because you can't get through the Metroids without it.
Right.
Yeah. Never mind.
So the part that kind of disappointed me was, no matter the choices you made, you still went through the game, and you could still complete the game, and it didn't matter. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the part that really disappointed me with Metroid Dread, when in the name it's like, oh, the word dread in itself, I just really felt like it should have been closer to that type of feel, and it didn't. Right. And that's the part that I missed in this game. Now, I'm not saying that in itself it's not a good game, because it is. It's a really good,
it's a good game. Yeah.
It's a good game. In a vacuum, when you say this is a Metroid game and I'm going to play this game, and I liked it. But really, when we talk about Metroid from in its essence of what made it great and what made it something that was unique, it was not forgiving, it was punishing if you didn't make the right choices. And I don't feel like Dread did that.
It was punishing in a different way.
It was punishing
in a 2021 type of way, where it was more, you didn't execute this fight properly. It was a little bit more roguelike. It was
situational versus your whole playthrough.
Right. And that's a very, it's kind of a different feel, where it's just like when you play Super Metroid's kind of like the pinnacle of this, so I'll just compare it to that. You felt tangibly stronger with every upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with Dread, you didn't necessarily feel tangibly stronger. And there's nothing wrong with that, because what you did get out of it is, since the controls were so solid and tight, you can combo a slide into a grapple into, a jump, and, whatever, like your agility is not dependent on you knowing how to wall jump. It's dependent on you being able to actually utilize all these buttons at once.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because I did just come off of a Dark Souls kick too, where I was just like, oh, I was not expecting this. It's like, I got to the final boss, that big ass, what is his name? Darkbeak? I can't remember. It's something like that. Ravenbeak. I got to that and I just was not expecting a fight like that. Like it felt like a roguelike, and I was just like, wow, this is just fun, and it took me a good like 20 tries to kill him because it's just like, I do not have the coordination for this, and it's just, it was just very surprising to me. If I do have one complaint aside from the load screens, which damn, cool load screens, but fuck, took too long. It's the environments where you had the Emmys, the robots that are the main, antagonists.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like the semi-antagonists. Your reason to get gravity suit. The areas felt too samey.
Yeah.
Like it was very hard to tell where you were in a very specific part of the map. For me, I'm not a professional speedrunner or anything like that. So it's just like, I see the map, I kind of know where I'm going. And it's just like, but man, they all just kind of run together. And I'm just like, and I found myself looking at the map more than I wanted to. And it was just very hard to understand where I was a lot of times. So, but granted, on second playthroughs, that gets easier. It's just, you can't have everything. And that's just one of those situations where not everything kind of came together.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. Like, again, the game was well polished. It was well made, and it was very much a Metroid. So this is the way that I kind of describe it, right? I describe it as a Metroid light game. And,
okay.
And as opposed to a Metroid game. And again, it goes back to I went to go back to play the original games because I was like, why am I not having as much fun with Dread as I was previously with the original Metroids? And I netted out at those 3 points, and that's the load screens, which take you out of the game. It's the fact that your choices don't matter when it comes to getting to the end game, unlike Metroid and Super Metroid.
Well, Super Metroid, they really don't matter either because you're in a line in all those games.
Yeah, not
basically
kind of.
You can choose not to get certain upgrades if you're skilled enough, and you can still kind of do the same thing with Dread.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, okay.
It's not as obviously breakable in Dread as it is, like in, for instance, Super Metroid. Like if you know how to wall jump, you can get super missiles right off the bat.
Yeah, that's fair.
Stuff like that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But you get rewarded in that way. I don't feel like Dread had either that risk reward feeling to it. In the fact that it impacted your ability to complete the game. And that's the point I'm trying to get at.
I get you. I think, now that I'm thinking hard about it, I think one of the reasons why it does feel so different too is it's how agile Samus is in this game. Which and this is not a knock on the controls or anything. They're solid as fuck. And I would not change them in any way, shape, or form. It's kind of how she acts in the cutscenes, like when she's fighting Kraid and a lot of the other bosses. Like they did such a 180 from Other M, where so like Other M, she was this scared little child who like she sees Ridley and she flashes back to a child and she's just like terrified in her tracks until she can get her until Adam tells her to get her shit together, which up to that point goes completely against everything you know about that character. And you play Metroid 1, there's not much story to it aside from whatever, so there's not much emotion put into it. But the Metroid 2, what they can do in the Game Boy, they start bringing in the story of like, okay, she's a cold and calculating boundary. She literally eradicated a species in Metroid 2. Like if you're paying attention to that series, she is making a species extinct one by one. And she shows mercy on a baby Metroid at the end. And, there's kind of like a motherly bond. In Metroid 3, you see that she does have some sort of feeling, and the Metroid sacrifices itself and she destroys Mother Brain, yada, 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 XYZ. And you get to this game and she's almost too cold, which is weird. And I never thought I'd say that, but like, every single scene that she was in, it was very fucking cool. Like there was just like, as soon as she drops into Kraid's chamber, she just kind of, it's almost like she's tired of his shit because she's killed him so many times and she just charges up and just shoots him straight in the face, stuff like that. Or just like the really like nonchalant, like just sidestep out of the way in order to get out of danger. A lot of times she does. And it's always very, very fucking cool. And every single time I saw it, I was just like, that's Samus. Finally, that's Samus. And now that I'm thinking about it too, I'm just kind of like, there was something so isolating in the other games. Like, even though she was in a room full of enemies, she still felt alone. But in this game, she doesn't. You know what I mean? It's just very, it's kind of a feeling that you can't quite put your finger on. And it's different. Not necessarily, you know what I mean? Like, not necessarily in a bad way, but it's different.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's strange. I loved it. I think it's a fantastic game that's only going to get better with time as more sequence breaks are found. And to be clear, sequence breaks that aren't bugs. Like shooting through a wall and stuff like that, where it's, I wish there was more like Super Metroid, but that'd be my main complaint. But it was a good way to end the series. And I thought it was very surprising. Anyway, Metroid Dread wins.
Woohoo. So the one thing, and I'm not going to get into, the first one in this list and Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to wait until we get to the category later. But one of the things I wanted to kind of point out here, Psychonauts 2. That's a really freaking weird game.
Oh yeah, Psychonauts 1 was very weird too.
Yeah, and 2 is even more weird. And I tried it out right before this podcast, and I'll tell you, that game is really weird. And
it's a cult classic. My wife fucking loves Psychonauts 1. Like I had never really like seen her get into like an old school game like that on Steam before.
Really?
And she started playing it, and she was just like, "This is like the best game I've ever fucking played."
It's a very intuitive and great, interesting game to play, but it's really weird.
It's kind of like that same-ish era as like Earthworm Jim, where like things are weird to be weird, but Psychonauts has a reason for it, in a lot of ways. So it's it's strange.
Pause for a second. We're gonna skip the next two.
I agree.
Let's skip action and best indie, and then let's go right to best ongoing game.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking way too much.
Yeah. All right. So take us away. Oh no, actually, it's your turn. It's my turn, right? So we're gonna go to best ongoing game, awarded to the game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player's experience over time. And I'm actually kind of surprised that there isn't one of these games that should be in here in this list, but maybe you can give me some insight on why. So hold on.
Okay.
So first up, we have Apex Legends.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's not that fun.
Call of Duty Warzone.
Eh.
Final Fantasy 14 online. Yay! Fortnite.
Battle Royale.
And Genshin Impact, which I think is an okay game.
That's fine.
But the winner, I think, out of this list, and with every right, is Final Fantasy 14 online. And we've talked about this game. You've poo-pooed it, sir.
Not really. I just don't know much about it because I never wanted to sit down and play. I know enough about it.
So I played this game when it first came back as what they called the tagline for the game, A Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
My wife, actually,
my wife.
My wife.
You can't just say that.
So when she first accepted that I was a gamer, when we first started getting, when we first got together,
shacking up,
her Christmas present to me was the Uber special edition of A Realm Reborn, like the
collector's edition,
a gigantic box thing.
It's like, here's a statue, and you're like, cool.
And I was so excited because I was like, this. I mean, first off, I knew it was a game that I was going to play. She then realized, and she was like disappointed. She's like, wait, you got to pay $15 a month to play that game? I said, yeah.
That's how games work.
She's like, what? What? I had to educate her on how like subscription games worked. But I was very excited, and the launch of this game was not flawless, but in several weeks. And again, it's a theme, folks. Online games have buggy releases. That's just the way shit happens. So anyways, Final Fantasy 14 online, A Realm Reborn came out, and it was like the new coming of Final Fantasy. And it is by far, in my opinion, and I agree with this category, the best ongoing game in a very long time.
Ugh. All right. Guild Wars 2. Try it out, guys. You might like it.
It's not on the list.
Doesn't fucking matter. It's better.
It honestly, I don't think it is, because I played Guild Wars.
Incorrect. Wait, Guild Wars 1?
No. Both.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, I think Final Fantasy 14 is way better.
I don't agree, but I don't have any talking points about how Final Fantasy 14 works, because all I know is the developers were like, you know what, this game kind of sucks. We're going to redo it. And then they did. And everybody's like, you know what? We enjoyed that. And then I know WoW has been streaming, or has been bleeding essentially a ton of streamers, because Blizzard's been having some troubles lately. Well, they've been having troubles for a while, but they're just more public now. And everybody's just all about Final Fantasy right now. And I'm watching gameplay of it, and I'm just like, it just kind of looks like every other MMO. So I don't get it. So what's so good about this game?
So the fact that the progression system of Final Fantasy is, one of the core aspects of the game, right? It carries a lot of what I would say Final Fantasy X-esque type of progression, with a lot of ARPG elements mixed in, and it's not an ARPG specifically. Like that's just not what it touts itself. But over the years, and I think especially with the most recent expansion with Shadowbringers, no, not Shadowbringers, Endwalker. Endwalker is the newest one. It really leans into more of the modern day RPG elements that people just lack onto. So they also created some new systems, right? They've updated the combat system to be more race oriented. So they've
like how they move or something, or
yeah. So how they move, how they sort of level each up, level up, and so on and so forth. And so there's a lot of new complex ways of how you do builds for your characters. Okay. They've updated a lot of different things to where first off, they introduce new gear all the time. So it takes a lot of it's
a gear treadmill essentially.
Well, I think of like Diablo 3 and their seasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
They treat their expansions almost like seasons does for Diablo, but in longer stretches, right?
Okay.
But they add new they always are looking to add new PvP challenges, they add new story. So it's multi-dimensional. So if you're into story, they add new story elements all the time for you to play. If you are into side quest or jobs, as they call them, you will always get loaded with new jobs to go. Also, it seems like they've been starting to increase your level caps. So previously in the original versions, it was 50. Now we're up to, with the newest version, you can have a level cap of 90. So your progression system in this game allows you so much room and so much capability to expand your characters and really have a replayable experience. Like if you came into the game today as a Realm Reborn character, it's going to take you quite a while to get there. And so the replayability, the content, and so on and so forth, it's so expansive, and there's so many things that you, the player, can do, whether it's story, jobs, PvP, or strictly just play with a lot of the new combat systems they got going on with new events and whatever. There's just so much content there. It's just it's more than you can we can talk about in an episode.
For PvP, do you need to be max level in order to do that?
No, and you don't. I mean, I think so. It depends on the version of the game that you're playing too, right? So the one interesting thing about Final Fantasy 14 is you could buy a Realm Reborn and play that today. Like you could just buy it and you would be, 4 versions behind, but you could play that iteration of the game.
Yeah.
And then you could play Heaven's Sword, just like WoW is, right? So you can play the different expansions, right?
Just like any MMO.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's up to you and how you want to play it, man.
Okay. All right. I still think Guild Wars 2 is better.
Whatever, dude. And everybody has their own opinion, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, MMOs are a very fickle thing, because it's like once you fall in love with one, you're in love with it. Like you might get bored of it, but you come back to it. There's a reason why WoW is still going strong. you know.
But there's also a reason why Final Fantasy 14 is still going strong.
The same reason. It's because they fix their shit. And they don't have massive problems with their company too that are forcing people to be like, what the fuck are we even doing with these people?
Well, I mean, they fix their stuff, they enhance their stuff, and they give as people ask for enhancements, they look at it and try to figure out ways to incorporate it. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it.
Good.
Like, this game came out in 2010.
Yeah.
Right. There's a reason why. I mean, yes, WoW has been out much longer, and I get that. And I'm not disputing the fact that WoW has a much longer lineage when it comes to that. But Final Fantasy 14 is not the first online iteration that they've had either.
Of like Final Fantasy in general?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because wasn't there like a Tactics that was online?
But there was also an iteration before Realm Reborn, right?
Oh, there was. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like this has been a 20-year long-standing operation for them. So, but anyways, all I'm saying is I'm not saying it's better than any of the other games like WoW or Guild Wars or anything like that.
It's just your flavor.
But it's in this category, the games that are mentioned here, it is by far the best out of any of them.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, battle royales, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, right. Know? All right. Best narrative. Go.
Outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Well, no shit. That's what best narrative means. All right. So Deathloop.
I want to play that so bad.
I'm kind of on the border with it. Anyway, It Takes Two. Life is Strange, True Colors. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Woohoo!
You wouldn't know it's a Marvel IP. It didn't have Marvels in front of it. And then Psychonauts 2. And the winner is Guardians of the Galaxy.
What?
Which is kind of surprising.
I don't think so. I don't think my personal experience, it's not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, like I watched some gameplay on it. I watched like a good hour and a half of Guardians, and I was a little surprised by it.
It follows the comics. It doesn't follow the movie.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it actually followed the comics. I thought it was going to be it's like an original story.
Yeah. So, sorry. It follows the essence of the comics and the characters of the comics, meaning how they were represented, and not the characters from the movie.
Yeah, it kind of felt pretty reminiscent of the movies.
It does, because the movies borrow from the comics, but
so it's not just James Gunn style, because it definitely feels like a James Gunn type of style.
I hear you, and that's not the first time I've heard that, but but truly the snarky type of banter that the Guardians have with each other really is rooted from the comic book. It's true to the comic book style.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take that then. Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's weird with these Marvel games, though. Like the Avengers before this, and then this one, you have a pretty popular cinematic universe, with these well-known actors and everything, and well-known voices. And you get to these games, and they're just like not them.
Yep.
And I understand licensing, and you got to pay the actors, their fair share, as far as that's concerned, and it can become a nightmare. It's much easier to just make your own thing and do your own voice actors. But at the same time, it does kind of take you out of it. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, it's not what Gamora looks like. That's not what Drax looks like. Shit like that.
Not in the movies, though.
No, in the games.
No, I know, but the game, right? Like, oh, I see what you're saying. Marvel in itself, not this.
Yeah,
game.
It's like you have this like really, really popular, established cinematic universe. Then you get to the games, and like different voice actors, okay, but like the models don't even look the fucking same.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand it's comics. Comics do weird shit all the time.
Yeah,
but at the same time too, it's just like it's weird.
I think that this game certainly takes the cake in this one from narrative, and I bought this game because, well, first off, I'm a big fan of the movie series. Like I
Sure.
actually think they're really good.
Do you
But
mean you actually enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy?
yeah, I did.
Weird.
Weird. Like totally weird, man.
Oh my God. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
But the game itself, I was very intrigued when we got like the trailers and such, because again, it separated itself from the movie and latched onto the original comic book like style design of the characters and the dialogue and such, right?
Mhm.
And I'll be honest, it is by far the most fun I've had playing a video game in the last 3 years.
Really?
Yes, by far the
Okay.
most fun, because it's entertaining, it's action packed, and I was actually kind of concerned in the beginning about the fact that you only
You get to play Star
control
Wars, right?
only yeah, you can only control Star Lord. However,
Mhm.
the way that they have it set up is freaking genius. Like the way that they design the combat system, you don't want to play as anyone other than Star Lord, and
Yeah.
you then basically have these these rally times where you rally the troops and be like, yeah, let's like, and then so you control the special abilities of the other characters, meaning when they pop off, which makes it really tactical when you're saying, all right, Groot, you like do this, and then you do that and whatever. Like it actually provides less of a button mashing game and makes it more of a tactical narrative action adventure. And it's by far, like in my opinion, one of the best games that I've played as far as fun in a
Mhm.
while. In a while.
Yeah, the gameplay of it, like, obviously I'm not playing it, so I'm watching somebody else play. I'm like watching a
Yeah.
playthrough of it, and I was having a hard time kind of understanding, essentially like that rally system that you're just talking about, where you're controlling other people. And like the best thing I could think about was like, GameCube days, Star Wars Rogue Squadron,
Mm.
where it's essentially like, okay, you are piloting. However, you're also telling your squad mates what to do at any given time. Is it kind of like that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it not gonna lie, I have not played the game, but it looked a little cumbersome. But I mean, does it flow properly once you get the hang of it?
Oh, it's completely solid. Like
Okay.
I was at first, as you go through the first part of the game, they kind of
Mhm.
take you through and they take you in and really teach you those things gradually, right? To bring those action sequences, as well as controlling the different,
Mhm.
features of each of the characters. They bring you along in a gradual pace that gets you comfortable with that.
The technique. So here's a
Yeah.
question about that then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if that's the case, where they just kind of like slowly bring you up to it,
Mhm.
does that hurt replayability? Because you get to the end, you know what the fuck you're doing, you're good at this game, and you start over and you're just like, holy fuck, let's go.
So they have, and I haven't played all the way through the game just yet. I haven't
Mhm.
completed it, but they have, different difficulties levels. And so I don't know about the replayability just yet on that.
Okay.
But while you are playing it, I don't like, and I guess I'd have to go back and when I play it again, maybe I'll think differently. But it's not immersion breaking type holding hand. They make it very fluid into the combats the combat sequences that you get involved with throughout the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
And it's not prolonged, right? It's like the first.
It's not like a 20-minute fight.
No.
Okay.
It's like you go through and learn how to action with all 4 characters in the first 20 minutes of the game. And then that's pretty much where you're at.
Right. It's like Groot's going to make bridges.
Yeah.
Rocket's going to shoot shit.
Yeah. And then once you're like 20 minutes in, that's it's up to you.
Okay. So they understand that it's just they'll ramp it up appropriately.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotcha. All right. Next category.
Let's go to Game of the Year.
All right.
Recognizing the game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields.
Damn, dude. You really nailed that. You got the gusto.
Okay, so the nominations are Deathloop,
Mm-hmm.
It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. Drum roll, please. And It Takes Two is the winner, as I'm sure most people listening to this already know.
Spoiler alert.
But honestly, this is
it's a pretty good lineup.
It's a good lineup. It's a tough lineup.
Yeah.
So I would say Deathloop, no. Psychonauts 2, no. Ratchet and Clank, no. Resident Evil Village, no. I think the only 2 here that kind of go toe to toe would be It Takes Two and Metroid Dread. And I'll be honest, It Takes Two, certainly it takes the cake.
Oh, shit. Have you been sitting on that the whole time? Have you been waiting? You've just been waiting to say that? You're such a dad.
No comment. No comment.
Okay. You fucking wrote that on a Post-it note and you've just been staring at it the whole time.
And for clarity, it is not in our notes.
Yeah, it definitely is not. Yeah. Well, okay. So, It Takes Two is definitely like the most different out of all these games. There's been millions of Metroid games,
Yeah.
Psychonauts 2, that's a good one for the running too. That's just a powerful series. I guess we haven't really talked about Resident Evil at all. That was an interesting one.
It is a messed up game.
It's I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. It's just kind of it exists, and Resident Evil games for me kind of hit their peak at Resident Evil 4. And then after that, it's just always been like, okay, it's been kind of like a diminishing return. Like
Resident Evil 5 was actually really good.
Was that the one where they were in Africa
with
Chris?
Yeah.
Was it Claire with him? No, it wasn't Claire. It was what's his sister's name?
Valentine? No, not Jill Valentine.
Oh, it was Claire Redfield.
Yeah, Claire. Yeah, you're right.
Claire Chris and Claire. Yeah. Was that Africa? No one was. 7 was the swamp people.
Yeah, that was
led
dumb.
Directly to Village.
That was a bad game.
Was it? It looked kind of cool.
It was. Well, okay, hold on. Let me rephrase that. It's not what I wanted. How about that?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like you have like this really like I don't know if it's like interesting, but like it's all zombies and shit.
Yeah,
and then you just get like all these like latest games like 7 and 8. It's just like, well, okay, starting at 4. Let's just start at 4 because then you start getting into the Plagueis and all that stuff, and it's just kind of like. Okay, I understand why this is Resident Evil, but it's just like it's not Raccoon City, it's not Umbrella, and granted, this thing needs to grow in a meaningful way in order to be good. But like, I don't know, it's just not as interesting. You know,
I think what I think they really should have. I don't know. So when I think Resident Evil, I think again Umbrella. I think of
terrible
all,
movies.
and I think Resident Evil Village. It truly is a completely different experience, right?
Yeah, it's like fucking werewolves and shit.
Yeah, and so like I'm not put off about the game because I think the game is quite good and it's very very popular. People play it a lot, and I would say that if the game was called The Village, I would perceive the game much different than it's saying Resident Evil Village.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would hit very differently.
Exactly. And so that's where I have this weird push pull about Resident Evil Village of, again, I like the game for what it is, but to me, it's not a Resident Evil game. And I don't want it to be a Resident Evil game. But you call it Resident Evil, which then makes it kind of weird to me. Just like Resident Evil Biohazard. Like a lot of people kind of like shit on that game. A lot of people dislike that game for a good reason. It's kind of a really, it was there. It's basically Resident Evil Village beta is what Biohazard is. And I appreciate what they were trying to do with the game. But again, I saying that it's a Resident Evil game just really doesn't resonate with me. And when we have 20 something years of understanding what a Resident Evil game is, you all of a sudden change the formula, it just hits differently. And that's the part of it that I just don't appreciate.
Yeah, and it's like it's not so large of a change, because it's been this kind of like slow morph into this. It's like, again, starting at 4. They're starting to do things differently, and well, it wasn't the first one to do things differently, but it was kind of the sea change in it, where it's just like, no, we're actually committing to it now, and these are all going to be different. But it's just, I don't know, the game's got to grow with the times. I think it would be better if it wasn't like, okay, this is Resident Evil 8. It would just be like, more of like an anthology series.
Yeah.
Where it's more like, hey, this is Resident Evil : yada yada yada. It's like they're not necessary. It's like a American Horror Story. Yeah. None of these stories have anything to do with each other. It's just, this is what you're watching, type of thing. I don't know. I'm kind of ranting about this, but I really like that baby fight. That was fucking kind of creepy as hell.
Oh yeah.
That was some creepy ass shit.
But as we're wrapping up here, something I want to get to really quick.
Yeah, go for it.
And that's the debate between It Takes Two and Metroid Dread. Do you feel that Metroid Dread got snubbed here, or do you think It Takes Two was truly the winner that was all deserving of this honor?
Well, in my opinion, and this is purely from I've played all the way through Metroid Dread, of course. I honestly did not know about It Takes Two, and I've watched a bit of videos of it. I understand what it is. I think that Metroid Dread was not snubbed because Metroid is for a certain audience, whereas I do truly think that It Takes Two is for everyone. And I think that is the distinguishing factor there. And I think that it's probably well placed with them.
And with that, we will end.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, fine. I get the final word.
Thanks for listening to our most recent episode of Uneducated Gamers. You can go to Galaxy Game TV to post comments on each of our episodes, or if you have a question or a topic you would like us to include in an episode, feel free to leave a comment. Until next week, we bid you farewell.